Good afternoon, everyone. What's going on? Here we are together again on another lovely Sunday afternoon. This is January the 15th. So here I want to talk about an article. Article is actually a couple years old, but I think it's newsworthy for me to talk about it. So it obviously with the title of it, Biracial Britain, Why Mixed Race People Must Be Able to Decide Their Own Identity. And of course, this falls in line with my core philosophy of why I'm here, why I am talking to you guys, as you can see the title there. Biracial Britain, why mixed race people must be able to decide their own identity, must be able to, because obviously, with the broadcast that I had the other day with Dr. Umar, people like him are going to say, well, we have to just identify as black. And if we don't identify as black, well, he wants nothing to do with us, right? We have a lot of people like that. I know, and that's obviously an American base with Dr. Umar. But I know in the UK, there's a lot of those kind of similar sentiments as well, with people trying to put you into a box, saying that you have to identify with them. And it's interesting because those of us who are mixed race, like for me, obviously, I use the term mulatto, specifically black white mixed race. People play that game with us, more than any other group. We're basically kind of in that whole racial dichotomy, right? Or as other people, George Orwell would like to refer to as racial binary nature, especially here in the United States of America, where it's black and white. But as we see, this is 2023. We have an emergence of other demographics, right? Specifically those who are mixed race, mestizo, Latin Americans, right? Mexicans in particular, and they are growing in numbers. And obviously, people who are from the Asian world, Eastern world, the Asian continent, right? So that includes Chinese people, people from the Philippines, and East India, or other people would say South Asia, right? So we have different demographics growing and population numbers here in America. So things are changing rapidly. It's not just a black and white society as it was, for all the prior generations. The world's changing extremely fast with the advancements of technology, obviously the internet. Talking to you guys, some of you are listening to me from around the world. So the society is changing around us rapidly. And what are we going to do about this? Are we going to stay stagnant in the old world philosophies where we just got to be black and just pretend that we're just black? Someone like me who's traveled to different places around the world, not a lot, but I can say for sure, yeah, Ghana, West Africa, being in an all black nation, um, you're going to learn right away that you're not as black as you think you are, which is fine. I've always known that here in America as well with other with the typical FBA or ADOS, whatever you want to call them, African American demographic. I've always known I am a mixed person, and I've always been proud of that. Always been okay with that. It's other people, what I've noticed as a young adult, that are not okay with that. When you assert yourself and say you're mixed or biracial, people have a problem with that. It's almost like, I know, especially with the black population, I could say in America, a lot of them, if they're insecure, they feel like you're waving privilege over their head, right? So they definitely have a problem with you identifying with something other than them. They definitely, a lot of them, the ones who are have a problem with it, they want you to kind of be in that crabs in a barrel with them. Misery loves company, etc. And I can say with the white side, I've never really noticed them um, having a kind of inferiority complex with how I identify. That's why even within social media, you guys know, if you're listening to me, I mean, do you guys ever have white people, that are, quote, hating on you for how you identify? No, it's, 99%, it's usually black people. Well, you can't identify as, biracial or mixed. The police just gonna see you as being black. See, white people, from my understanding, they've generally never cared. They're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, you're mixed. Well, yeah, you're mixed with black." So, they've never cared. Like, it's never been a big deal to them, is what I'm saying. It's usually always coming from the black side. So I have that experience and I'm sharing that experience with you guys. But this article caught my attention. Like I said, it was published February 11th, 2021. So it's essentially, 2 years old, but I want to share it, and shout out to those of you across the pond. I do have people from the UK that listen to me, and definitely plan on, going to the UK in several months to for research purposes and to connect with people. So this is a kind of great starter for that as well. So here we are, right? Mixed race question mark. What's all this mixed race nonsense? If you are not white, you are black. So said a legendary black British broadcaster to Sunder Katwala, a mixed race Briton I interviewed for my book Biracial Britain during a conversation they had on identity. Now, I checked out this gentleman, Sunder Katwala, and if I'm reading this correctly, so said a legendary black British broadcaster to Sunder Katwala. They said, if you are not white, you are black, which is hogwash. But this Sunder Katwala is a biracial person, but he is East Indian descent and Caucasian is what I'm seeing here. Yeah, Irish heritage and East Indian. Let me remove this for a second. There we go. Let me get rid of that banner too. Katwala has an Indian father and Irish mother with no black roots, right? Of which he is aware. When he pointed this out, he was asked why, in that case, he didn't simply call himself Indian. Was he ashamed of his Indian roots? The exchange typifies the kind of social reality mixed race people know all too well. On that combines a binary way of thinking about identity, and the right monoracial society confers on itself to tell mixed race people how they should identify exactly. And like I said, that's the major component there is the fact how it's monoracial people telling you, well, you have to identify this way. Now, like I said, my personal experience, I typically see this from the black monoracial side where they tell you, well, you have to identify as black. If you don't, well, I don't like you. I don't want to deal with you, blah, blah, blah. Where it's like they don't have our experiences, right? And I'm going to share a little bit more about that with Dr. Umar. I'm going to, post some clips about that. And, because I did a whole 3-hour kind of stream a couple of days ago. It was pretty long, but I kind of got a headache analyzing that guy because I'm out of that world, that pro whack, narrative. It's very archaic and old way of thinking, and I got out of that. And so when I listen to some of that stuff now for like, data analysis, I'm just like, it gives me a headache. I can't listen to it that long because it's just so absolutist in that framework of thinking with Dr. Umar, who's a monoracial black man who wants to tell mixed race, mulatto people how to identify and what we should do. And then of course throwing in assertions that we are, we're agents. It's like I mean, and it's sad. The thing that for me, the saddest part is you have biracial people who fall into that to serve the community. Like I found out too myself personally, being in some of these areas, these spaces, the people who are going to give you the most backlash are not even going to be black people or white people. Like I said, you'll get more backlash from black people than white people. And that's why you always often hear black people say, how come you guys never talk about white people and tell them this or that? Well, on social media, I don't really see any white people targeting us, to be honest, or making, harassment or making slurs to us or slandering us. It's typically always coming from the community. So of course, people like me, we're going to have to clap back and give our analysis on things. But within the own, so-called mixed race spaces, I find it's other mixed race people. If they have kids by black people, they're stuck in the community. So it's almost like they want to sabotage anything you have going on because they're stuck. It's that crabs in a bucket mentality. They're stuck in a community. They just want to fight for their place in there. So if you try to establish something separate from their influence, then they're going to try to troll you and go after you. That's what we see with the ghetto grandma, in the golden sphere, right? That's exactly the type of mindset. And so here's a short clip.
My parents met in Plymouth in the 80s when they were both studying. I think they were very aware that they were maybe slightly unconventional being an interracial couple. They really encouraged us to embrace both sides of our heritage and both sides of their cultures. I mean, I am black, but I'm also white. And just because I have one parent that's black and one parent that's white.
I like that. I like that, her assertion, she's like, well, yeah, I am black, but, I'm also white too. That is a healthy, balanced person, right? They are fully aware of their heritage, their racial configuration. There's no confusion. I look at someone who's confused. I look at, obviously the pro blacks who are going to say they're Indians, they're Moors, or Native American. I look at a lot of these pro blacks who are extremely confused. But of course, a lot of them, it's projection. They'll say, we're confused. This lady is accepting the reality that she has parents of two different racial groups and she honors both of them. And that's part of who she is. That makes her who she is as a unique, beautiful individual. And that's a great thing. Yeah, she's extremely balanced and she is not confused. She is well aware. When I think of someone who's confused, I think of someone like a Michi X, a Michi X who's all pro black and blackity black. And, yeah, she's kind of like the golden goddess, where she has a kid by a black man. So she's banging hard for the community, stuck in the community. So she's only identifying with one group, right? And she favors that group over her other side that's provided for her. That is a confused individual. That is not someone who is balanced. And how could you trust someone like that who can throws away half of their entire family, throws away all that influence just to appease one side? I mean, that's not me, but there's people that are like that. Let me continue on with this.
It doesn't mean that for me I have to pick. It means I can be both.
Congratulations from all of us.
But can mixed race people really navigate both sides of their...
The interesting thing about this whole discussion, we're going to be talking about it a lot more, is that how kind of Meghan Markle is kind of, because she's probably the most visible, biracial mulatto person in the media, world politics, media, etc., to where she's getting a lot of publicity. And because of that, her story, who she is highlighted, right? We see her all over the media, the tabloids, etc. And she's gone into it a few times as far as being biracial, but I don't really like her takes on it as well, be honest with you, because she throws in the kind of liberalism and the social justice warrior angle. There's a touch of intersectionality and feminism. So I'm not really into like the philosophies she's pushing. But the media, because she's highly visible, she's a good-looking woman, of course. They highlight her and her personal stories as well. When there's a lot of us out here who have our own personal stories, that's why it's our responsibility to, start a YouTube channel, start a social media page, and to share with the public our own personal stories and put a face on it, as well. Don't be a coward, behind the avatar. Put a face on it and let the whole world know you're here and that you have a story as well. So I'm going to continue on.
identity. Meghan Markle identifies as mixed race.
And that's why I sympathize with her. I think that's why I definitely tend to like her and sympathize with her. Like I said, I don't agree with her, a lot of her political philosophies, etc. But she identifies as being mixed race. Now she probably doesn't use the word mulatta, which is fine. That's her business, but she has honor and respect for both sides of her family, which is critical.
Many have still tried to pigeonhole.
Because if she's doing that, more people like her who are highly visible, more of us, people like me, we're letting people younger than us know it's okay to be who you are, to embrace who you are. Don't be confused. Honor both sides. You're going to get a lot of pushback, okay, especially from the community. They're not going to like that. That's fine. A lot of them don't like themselves. But it's important for you to have self-respect, you to like yourself and you to honor yourself and share your story and be proud. Let the world know you're here and you're not going anywhere and you're not going to fit into the boxes they create for you. Okay. You're going to create your own box. I commonly refer to it on this channel as the third option. Okay, I say this is the third option because people will tell you, well, the whites ain't going to accept you, so you got to put up with my black bullshit. You just going to be a black. You going to be a nigga like me. It's like, no, this is the third option. We are asserting ourselves today. So this is all for the younger generation. Like I said, I'm living good. Not a lot. I'm gonna have a lot of great years ahead of me. This is for the younger people. So everything I'm doing right now, this is for the younger people having this kind of basically library, a whole catalog of videos and mulatto history for younger people to have access to so they can learn.
Her as white or black. Is it time that society just accepted that some people feel both? I definitely feel very other at times. I definitely feel like I'm quite unplaceable in people's minds. And I think that that makes people quite uncomfortable. Lots of people, not everyone, but feel much more comfortable when things are much more sort of clear cut.
Yeah, and I wanted to add on that as well. People feel comfortable, right? People are not comfortable when you assert yourself saying, "No, I'm mulatto, I'm biracial, I'm mixed race," right? When you say that, a lot of people feel uncomfortable because they want to be able to put you into a box where they can kind of control you. And if you're not in their box, if you refuse their box, they look at you as a problem, something to deal with. And there's a gentleman actually in that same nation in the UK, Calvin Robinson. He laid it out perfectly. He explained it so articulately. I mean, could find the clip and play that, but it's basically the same sentiments where people want to put you in a box. They want to be able to label you and identify you so they look like they can kind of get a sense of where you're going, a direction. It's like a control thing that people want over you. When you identify being mixed race or mulatto, they're like, wait a second, I don't know where he's going to go, what he's going to do. They can't control you. So it upsets people when they feel like they don't have power over you. But I like it's great. It's great.
You're gay, you're straight, you're white, you're black. And I've never really felt like I can be so easily defined. And I think that people do struggle with that. But no two experiences of being mixed race are the same. 1.2 million people were recorded as mixed race in the last census.
This is the UK, obviously. You're talking about the UK census. 1.2 million people are identified as mixed race now. You have to be a little careful here analyzing the data because I say mulatto because mulatto is specific to black, white, mixed race, biracial, correct? Now, in the UK, I know they have a lot of other configurations as far as mixed race. There could be people who are Caucasian and South Asian, right? East Indian. They could have that mixture, and there a lot of them are calculated into that mixed race, demographic. If I'm wrong, please, let me know, and I'm more than happy to look into that. But I know in America that is the case. We have a multiracial category on the census, the federal census, not the state level. But at the federal level, we have a multiracial category, and it's extremely ambiguous. And it's not specific to those of us who are mulatto, who, in my opinion, I'm not saying, I'm the biggest victim. We have unique challenges. We have a lot of unique challenges, and we have probably, some of the most, potent, strong history in the nation. I might add, as far as the, end of slavery, development, fighting in all the wars, establishing cities, etc. So let me continue on.
1.2 million different ideas of what it means to be mixed race. Even people within the same family can have totally different feelings about their identity. So you guys are twins, you have the same background, the same parents. Why is it that you think you identify so differently?
I personally identify as mixed race. I know that some people try and identify as black or white or one or the other, but I think it's quite hard to determine, especially at a young age, where you fit in and who you are. And I think some people try and categorize you as one or the other, or you feel like you need to make a decision. But I think I got to a stage where I thought, I am mixed race. I am both black and white.
I'm slightly different. Whilst I know I'm mixed race, that's what I tick on forms. I think it's too broad a term for me, and I identify mainly as black. I think what's probably caused it is we went to very different schools. I think there were less than 10.
Interesting. So just general question to the audience. So the other gentleman, their brother and sister. Now he definitely looks more black, but he says he's mixed race. I don't know his parents or any of that, his family tree or any of that stuff. But what's interesting is this lady here. She said she identifies solely as black. Why do you guys think that is? Now, I'm going to let her continue on with explaining herself. She said the school, where she went to school at, played a huge difference. But in the back of my mind, I have a general kind of theory to why she's solely just identifying as black. And she thinks mixed race is too ambiguous for her.
People of colour in my whole school. And so
She's talking about mixed race is ambiguous. I mean, Jesus Christ, people of color is the most ambiguous term that's ever been developed, you know. People of color, which is essentially a colored person, um, just the kind of semantics, right? And then obviously they have the BIPOC is another one that's not really as, you know, commonly used as POC. But BIPOC, they're really trying to push that, which is Black, Indigenous people of color. I mean, it's really clown world, goofy stuff, but this is what they're doing. And it has nothing to do with mulatto. Basically, it's to erase us as a group, as a demographic. They're throwing us in with everyone else. And then, of course, the agenda is not even going to be for mulatto people. It's going to be for intersectionality, for LGBTism, etc. They've been caught. Okay, they've been caught. The thing is a lot of people are not speaking up about this. A lot of people are just kind of accepting it, going along to get along. They're hiding. It's like, no, we actually want a space. We actually want advocacy in a way that protects us, that protects families, and that also restores our legacy, which they're trying to bury all of our influence and to just make it quote a Black achievement when it's not. And a lot of these, yeah, there's an alternative agenda. I kind of shared that with some of these other spaces you have out here, and they're going to keep trying. Till now, they haven't had any pushback, but there's going to be pushback, right?
it's kind of a cycle, coming to terms with who you are. I always stuck out like a sore thumb, really, and I was always the Black one. And so that's what I've grown up with, and that I'm embracing that now. I'm happy to call myself Black rather than mixed race.
I had a different experience. I went to a different school to my sister, but it was predominantly white and Asian.
Yeah, so we have someone here in the house who has the data. It's from the UK, so you definitely have firsthand knowledge on these affairs here. You're saying, if I'm reading this correctly, 762,638 total for Black, white, mixed race on the 2021 UK census. Yeah. And I believe the number they referred to earlier in the video was like 1.2 or 1.4 million. If I'm not mistaken. So that's yeah, literally like probably like half of the mixed race people are Black, white, mulatto, but you know, somewhere around their half, I don't know, 40%, whatever, are probably the other configuration, which I'm guessing could be white and Asian. But now, like I said, the gentleman just said Asian to school. I know you guys in the UK, you guys refer to Asian people as like, you know, not just Chinese or Korean, but also East Indians or Pakistani, etc. So it's interesting. And then, of course, here, mulatto people tend to go along to get along. Exactly. Especially in these YouTube streets for sure. But just in the general public, yeah, because we're like you stated, as you're advocating for, we're, you know, segregated. We're segregated. You know, they've done all, they're making all the efforts they can to make it so we don't have our own spaces, our own community. The main thing with the 1930 census, where they removed our classification as mulatto, but of course they gave Mexican people their classification, um, and Chinese and Japanese. They give these other demographics their own classification, unique classification. They have their own spaces, their own communities, etc. But with us, they just want us to serve the Black community. And the reason why they've done that is they've done that to neutralize us, because they don't want us to be a competitive group in this nation, right? That's comparable with the kind of white dominant hierarchy in the society, because we're half white, we're part white. That's our family. So we have inheritance that come with that, wealth transfer that comes with that. Like I said, I don't come from white trash. I don't come from Black trash. I come from middle class lineage on both sides of my family, conservative Christian on both sides. I think actually my mother's side, she was Catholic, I believe. Yeah, because her parents were, so she was brought up in a Catholic tradition, but she eventually converted to Christianity. But on my Black side, the Christianity. But that's the religious component. As far as the wealth, social status, middle class people, you know, in America. So I can inherit property, inherent life insurance, inherent wealth. All that stuff's getting passed down. So what they've done with the segregating mulatto people with the Racial Integrity Act in 1924, and then also removing us our classification from the census in 1930, is they've done that to prevent us from acquiring wealth and being kind of you know, to make it so the playing field is not level, right? So that all of our efforts, we're just fighting for the community, like W. Du Bois and Adam Clayton Powell. Thurgood Marshall, Dr. Claude Anderson. You know, Dr. Claude Anderson is one of these, multi-generational mulattoes, right? Of course, he married a mulatto woman. He has mulatto children. He's part of that mulatto coupling tradition. And everything he did was for black people, but he was in a different time, the 60s, 70s. And you see that throughout history. Let's study black history. Like I said, Thurgood Marshall, Dr. Claude Anderson, some of these prominent people, Phil Valentine, all the rest of them, they, all their wealth, their resources, their expertise, instead of establishing a community in advocacy, for people similar to them, they just want to, do everything for black people. And here we are today where we find ourselves facing a rising, trend of discrimination against light skin and mixed race people. And then we're just told to just shut up. They're like, well, it's because you didn't act right or you acted different. So they picked on you. But what if I picked on your ass? What if we picked on you? You'd call us racist and colorist, right? You see how goofy, how clown worldish everything's going on, right? We're just supposed to accept our lot in life. I've never accepted. I've always been pretty stubborn, and assertive. I'm not gonna let nobody punk me. But here we are, man. I mean, the older generations, they basically only had a pathway to blackness. There was no reality where they could kind of create something separate, not different, independent, what I call the third option. The numbers were too low. I'm looking around me, man. It doesn't matter if I'm in Southern California, Northern California, if I'm in Las Vegas. It doesn't matter if I go to these major cities, man. I see mulatto people all over the place. Our numbers are growing. They're still small, but I'm looking at the future. It's just inevitable. So I want to lay this framework, this groundwork now, so they can have something to stumble upon. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. And if you don't like it, please, with all due respect, create something that's, to your liking. But I didn't like I said, what's out there. When I see these kind of mixed race discussions where they want to include everybody in, we're all the same, so essentially, you don't even have a group to begin with. Doesn't make any sense. Let me continue on.
But I felt that I had a lot, rather than feeling very much black, I think there was a lot of, but you're not black and you're not white. You're kind of somewhere in the middle. It was quite weird. Sometimes it's based on, people base those judgments on not necessarily the heritage of your parents. It's more about who they perceive you to be.
I've always had my blackness questioned, and that's always hurt quite a lot because I feel like you're questioning my relationship with my mum and a part of who I am. So
Yeah, questioning your authenticity. Now, it definitely, there's some nuances there in the country she's in, right? Versus in America. The sad part is, and it's very disrespectful to honest, good working, hardworking, civilized black people, conservative Christian black people in America, because the ghetto black people, like the hood boogers or the pookies and the boom shikas, they basically have the microphone. They dictate what black culture is. So the underclass within black society in America, they're like the world star hip hop crowd, etc. They're the ones who established the parameters of what blackness is, which is very unfortunate. But that's why your wealthiest, most successful black people, men and women, they end up marrying out. Not all, but a lot of them do, especially your political class. They end up marrying out and going to other communities, right? Your entertainment class as well, but I don't have all the numbers in front of me, but it's definitely, you can definitely, it's very highly visible to see that a lot of successful, affluent, educated, the richest black man in America, he has a white partner. The list goes on, with black women as well. Like I said, Ketanji Jackson, the Supreme Court justice, political class, because the poor underclass of black society, they're the ones who dictate the culture. So if you're not doing the Jerry Springer celebrity gossip, dancing around and, having multiple kids by multiple different people, then you ain't from the hood, you ain't black. So then they question you, right? Which is fine. I have other options out here, have fun. But yeah, I sympathize with what she's saying. I'm basically saying that there's a nuance because I don't know if it plays the same in the UK. But that's what I'm hoping to learn this year when I gather more information, interview people, and get a more of a general sense of where people are at over there. and kind of compare it to things here in America, because I know definitely in America, I mean, being black and someone identifying with black, it is definitely connected to hood culture. I mean, like I said, it's connected to hood culture 100%.
Lots of times have people come up to me and say, well, we're not black really, or, you're not really white, or whatever it may be. And that can be painful. Yeah. It feels like I'm being forced by people to pick a side.
Yeah, that's the important thing. You're being forced by monoracial people, okay, who don't have your experience, to pick a side. And they want you to pick a side so they can use you for their agenda, like I shared with Dr. Umar Johnson. Dr. Umar Johnson, the prince of potato chips, he wants you to only identify as black so he can use you. So you got to prove yourself. You got to fight all his battles while him and his Pookie contingent are going to be sitting on their rear end, smoking blunts, playing Xbox, chasing after light skinned women. Okay, that's the pro whack game. In 2023, it's been that way for a decade. Just took me a little longer to figure it out, but thank God I did earlier. But yeah, the people who want you to pick a side and choose, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, they have an agenda for you, right?
Some people do just identify as white or black, and that can make the term mixed race difficult.
I don't like the term mixed race at all. I don't identify as mixed race, but I also think it's a really problematic term generally, because it reinforces the idea that both black and white, if we're talking about black and white mixed raceness, are kind of neutral and natural racial categories that exist. You can't be half white. The racial construct white was not invented to allow entrance to people who are half white. You're either white or you're not, or you're not white. So
Yeah, there's a lot of subtle nuances there because, like you said, in the 1930s, with the United States Census, when they removed our mulatto designation, which mulatto by definition means you are literally half European, half white. At that time, when they established the Mexican designation, most Mexican people, Hispanic people, have always been classified as white. I think we talked about this with somebody. My memory lost me the other day. Even today, certain states, depending on how they check for state applications, etc. Most, a lot of Hispanic, Latino people, they can just check white. And they have throughout history, even though they are, mixed people. They have, Arabic blood from Spain, Spanish blood, a lot of indigenous blood, etc. So you have that. And then also people who come from the Middle East, right? Or the Arab world. So people who are Iranian or Armenian, or even Iraqi, etc. They come to America. They're technically classified as Caucasian people. Not all instances, but I mean, broadly speaking, yes, they are classified as quote white people. So there is definitely a pathway to assimilation. It's kind of what Joe Biden affirmed when he got elected, because his whole Democratic, he had all these black people supporting him, and all he gave black people was a national holiday that nobody asked for, right? And he basically was advocating for, or still is, a Democrat Party advocating for illegal aliens. And the term he used was a pathway to citizenship. That's the term he used, pathway to citizenship, which is essentially, assimilation into whiteness. Okay. The citizenship, which of course you go back to the Dred Scott decision. The citizenship, being granted full access to citizenship, is literally part of being white in America. It's a whole nother kind of discussion I don't want to get into right now, but yeah, Hispanic people have been, always had this pathway to assimilation into whiteness. I showed you guys a picture of Justin Gaethje. I could probably share it to you actually again right now, since we're talking about it. Justin Gaethje um, has a white father, I believe Italian father, and then of course his mother is Latina, Mexican, I believe. Yeah, he's Mexican. And then because Gaethje, I'm not exactly sure where that comes from. Here's Justin Gaethje. This is his mother is clearly, brown skin Latina woman. And then here's Justin Gaethje. He's a UFC fighter. For those who don't know, he's a pretty high level competitor, fighting for the UFC. And this is his father here. So he's biracial. Okay, he's a biracial person. He's both of his parents, but he's, for all intents and purposes, is classified as a white person, right? Right. So that's what we would call the pathway to citizenship, essentially, what Joe Biden is talking about. I think that's his brother. Yeah, that's Justin Gaethje, his mom. I don't know who she is, his dad, his brother. So I just wanted to share that with you guys to kind of see. And there's other examples. I've shared it before. Actually, let me get one more example here because I follow the sport of boxing and mixed martial arts. And so I can use a lot of these competitors, these athletes, kind of as reference for some of the topics that I have here for discussion. So here we go. We have Josh Thompson. This is Josh Thompson. He's a mixed martial arts competitor. He is a biracial man. He is half Mexican and half white, right? I believe his same configuration. I believe his dad is white because last name Thompson, but his mom is Mexican. And you look at him, he basically will just check white, you know? So that's literally, it takes a generation for a Mexican American. But yeah, they have a pathway to assimilation, a pathway to whiteness, but Joe Biden calls it pathway to citizenship. Citizenship means being welcomed into the white family, so to speak, right? I'm just sharing that with you guys. Let me get back to the article just so you guys have some kind of background information of how the information that's in front of me, how I'm kind of seeing things. So when I listen to what this lady's talking about, I think it does play differently depending on what nation you are in. But let me continue on. We're almost done with this clip.
So I will often find it interesting and slightly irritating when people ask about choice, and they say, oh, like you're choosing the idea that you're kind of choosing the black side and you are erasing your white side.
That's exactly what's happening. And see, what she doesn't like the fact that people are calling that out, how ridiculous it is, because typically the liberal side, they just want to fight for the community and they want their acceptance into the community. And there's a lot of the conservative biracials, mulattoes, who are going to say, no, I'm mixed, I'm a mulatto, I'm biracial, like Amelia, she's a young conservative lady, and there's a lot like her, like Hodge twins, etc. There's a lot of others like conservative kind of commentators in America who are basically like, no, I'm mixed, yeah. But typically on the liberal side, they're like, well, yeah, I'm mixed, but I'm just black, I'm just black. It's my hood, So I kind of getting that from her, that she's more the liberal side in the UK, so she just identifies black. And what she's mad about is people are calling her out, like myself. I'm not really calling her out per se, but like, how can you just kind of push down the white side and just act like that doesn't stand for anything or mean anything? That's literally half of who you are. And it's remarkable that there's people who want to go and live like that. Like, let me continue on, guys.
You're not given the choice.
Mixed race people are held up as sort of this example of a post-racial society. But actually the reality is that mixed race issues and mixed race people can often be very much overlooked and misunderstood.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for saying that. We're overlooked and misunderstood because we have other monoracial people speaking for us, or we have people who are mixed race themselves, but they have an alternative agenda, which more often than not is either pro-black or pro-LGBT. So they have those alternative agendas and they want to act like they speak for the rest of us, collective of us, when that's not going to happen. As long as I have a microphone, I'm definitely going to, challenge that. But I like how this lady is basically framing that. Let me rewind that because I missed something there.
Mixed race people are held up as sort of this example of a post-racial society.
That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, we're held up as an example as a post-racial society. Other groups will prop us up. Even white people, if white people have a child from a black person, they'll prop us up. Well, I'm not racist, I have a black or I have a biracial granddaughter or something like that, or a biracial niece or something. So they'll even prop us up to be like, well, I'm not racist, I have a mixed kid or something. So there's that on that side. Um, and then of course it works on the other side as well with black people. They'll have mixed kids, and then it works vice versa. What I'm saying is monoracial groups will use us as kind of pawns and tools in a lot of ways, basically to present to the world that, this is, post-racial society, look at,
But actually, the reality is that mixed race issues and mixed race people can often be very much overlooked and misunderstood.
The rise
yeah, and that's why I have this channel here to speak on these issues, so the days of us being overlooked, misunderstood, they're not going to misunderstand me because I'm giving you clear cut analysis of what it is to be a mulatto person. And I think in a lot of cases, yeah, I'm privileged. And I'm happy with who I am. And I'm not a victim. I denounce the whole victim narrative. That's why I don't fit in a lot with the community. With intelligent, smart, civilized black people, yes, I do fit in for sure. But the hood booger community where we're all begging for reparations and we're victims, I don't fit into that. And that's a good thing. We have the opportunity now to create our own spaces, our own networks where we can review these articles and videos and be our own news outlet. Those of you who want news from the mulatto perspective, you tune in here, you listen to me. I'll give you the news.
of identity politics can mean that your background is becoming more and more important. But so much about forming your identity is about where you grew.
I think there was a quote on the wall. I want to go. Okay. What does it say here? Gotta get rid of this. It says, I'm made to feel like my name doesn't match my skin. If you see my name in text, people assume I'm white. This lady? Okay. I think so.
But so much about forming your identity is about where you grew up and how you were perceived, rather than your ethnic mix.
Okay, yeah, that's critical. Let me rewind that. Environment. Okay, how you identify. And I tell people that because a lot of people make general assumptions on like American mulattoes that, well, they're all liberals, they're all SJW. It's like, well, the critical thing is environment. I didn't grow up in a community, thank God. I'd be dysfunctional like a lot of them. So when and that's another thing, that's that gatekeeping aspect. Oh, you're from the suburbs, you didn't grow up in the hood. So yeah, I didn't. Because when you guys from the hood, when you get money, you move right to the suburbs. So get the fuck out of here. But environment is the critical thing. Where you were raised at will definitely alter and shape your identity moving forward. So I was raised in the happiest place on earth. So I think things went pretty well for me.
Is about where you grew up and how you were perceived, rather than more and more important. But so much about forming your identity is about where you grew up and how you were perceived.
Forming identity formation is about the environment, where you grow up, how you were perceived. Yeah. Yeah.
Rather than your ethnic mix.
Certainly when I was growing up, there were like a handful of other mixed people that I knew. But whereas I was quite happy to identify as Black and felt really proud of being Nigerian and stuff, some of the other people, they were trying to distinguish themselves from just an ordinary Black person and be like, no, but I'm half white. Like I'm better than these other Black people. And that's something.
Well, let's be careful there because those are her words. Who knows if that's the truth? Because she's a liberal SJW person, obviously, but she's perceiving it that, oh, those mixed race people told her that they're better than those other Black people. Now, we got to be careful because I'm honestly listening to her. I don't think that was the case. The fact that they identified as mixed race to someone who is Black identified, they already look at you sideways. They're like, what, you think you better than me? See, that's their perception. Black identified people, if you don't identify with them fully and let them pick on you and make comments about you, and you identify as mixed race, which you really are, your true authentic self, they perceive you as, oh, you think you're better, you're stuck up. So that's why when I hear her saying that, that is literally a black talking point, shaming language, right? So I don't even know. Who knows if those mixed race people even told her, "Oh no, I'm mixed race. I'm better than them." No, they probably said, "Well, I'm different. I'm half white. I have a white mom or white dad, etc. I'm different. I'm not like them." In her mind, she felt like they were saying they're better than her. I know this shit, because these type of people, man, they want you to serve the community, and this is over in the UK. So
That just makes me feel, that's something that makes me feel like really uncomfortable. I don't want to try and distinguish myself from blackness, to put myself that little bit closer to whiteness. And I think that's one of the reasons that I kind of so emphatically like identify.
it's clearly obvious, ma'am. I mean, it's clearly obvious. Like from the first two sentences you said earlier on, it was clearly obvious where this was going. Which is fine. You can identify how you want to, do what you want, but to try to shame the rest of us to serve you and to serve the community, I mean, that shit's going to be challenged moving forward. So this video was published a couple years ago, 2021. So our voices are only getting louder, right?
I think that sometimes it can feel like, if you're mixed race, sometimes it feels like people don't understand what that means, and they don't sort of engage with it in the way that maybe you'd want them to. So sometimes it can feel like you're not really anything, because you're not really seen as black and you're not really seen as white.
But I would like to be seen as both, because that is what I am.
That right there, right? The stamp, the conclusion of it. That's what I like about her, yeah, very balanced, self-awareness, asserting herself. I like to identify as both because she is both. She's honoring both love sources. And like I talked to J4 Conversations, I'm telling them, man, this younger generation, we're out here, we're pushing back against these narratives. We're not bound to serve under monoracial um, you know, jurisdiction in that sense, where they're not going to tell us how we can identify, how we can think, and they're going to look at you as this way, so you got to just claim that. We're asserting ourselves, saying, no, I'm mixed, I'm a mulatto, I have white family and black family. That's part of my heritage, part of my culture. I take the good out of both cultures, and I'm moving forward with the plan. And I can tell by looking at her, she's extremely balanced and healthy, and that is a great thing. So kudos to her. And we need more people like her who are not going to deny, half of their entire side or their family and just only up. I mean, you really, it's very problematic, I should say. Yeah.
As the number of people with dual heritage grows in the UK, will we become more accepting of those, like me, who want to be seen as mixed race?
Yeah, they're going to have to accept you. I mean, that's just no two ways about it. The more of you that assert yourself in a society, they won't have a choice. And that's what they're really kind of afraid of, a lot of people, I should say, as well, because they don't want us to have that sovereignty over ourselves. They want us to serve, and they want us to serve an agenda, other people's agendas. And a lot of us are saying, no, we're developing our own plans. We're having our own community. So let me see. Let me go back to your guys' comments, and then I'm going to get back into the article. So I think, yeah, you provided the stats here. Appreciate that. So yeah, I think literally like half. So up here, so you already have the stats you have right here. 762,638, which is mulatto in the UK, according to 2021 census. Here you have 484,225, which is Asian white. Yeah, for sure. I kind of thought that would be the case. There would kind of be like a half and half, or like a 40-60 kind of percentile of mixed people in the UK, or are based on those kind of configuration numbers. I think in America, it's very tricky. Like I said, I shared with you guys Justin Gaethje, who's definitely phenotypically white presenting, but he has a Mexican mom. So you have a lot of people like that who, and, Johnny Depp, etc. Most people would just say he's white, but he's part Native American, Keanu Reeves, etc., etc. Those are famous people. So just imagine the everyday kind of people in society out here who are like mixed race heritage, but They could possibly just be more phenotypically white passing, etc., or they don't acknowledge their other half. So things are a little tricky here. And our mulatto numbers, our mulatto designation, our numbers, this is something that's going to be incumbent upon us to calculate and get the data for that. Because like I said, with the census at the federal level, they have the multiracial category, but they include all these other groups. If people can just check it, if they identify with it, they can check it, right? Someone who is white and Filipina combined, they can check that box. What are you going to tell them? But clearly, someone who is white and Filipina, which is a beautiful mix, but they're not the same as mulatto, right? Different challenges, and we're different people, different culture. We probably share a lot based on us being, American, and then obviously the white culture, etc. But I like to be specific, me myself personally, and you know, so I definitely strive for a level of specificity. So it has here mulatto people are having to endure the 14th Amendment being stripped from them every day since 1924 and denied since 1967. Mulatto identity needs to be reinstated to the U.S. Census. Exactly. Because the multiracial designation is not cutting it, like I've stated. Anybody, any interloper can jump in there. You'll even have that guy, I don't want to mention his name, he's a mentally ill guy, but he's on some of these kind of golden sphere YouTube spaces, and he's clearly black looking, right? He's like literally like 95% black, but he'll claim he's part Irish and part English and part Spanish and all this other stuff. And you're gonna have people like that, right? People who are like 99% black who are basically gonna say that they are multiracial and mulatto. And I'm like, all right, man, that's cool. And so it says that, so we're going to gatekeep like people, on this channel here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm definitely going to prioritize mulatto people, and there will be a level of gatekeeping, so just so we're clear, um, you're open to participate and learn and share. This is educational platform, but everybody has no problem, gatekeeping mulatto people. Like I said with Dr. Umar and all these other probe whacks, well, you ain't black like me, you can't be in here. And then even white people will gatekeep you, right? So it's our God-given right to protect ourselves and to gatekeep our spaces. And that's what I'm doing here. This isn't the ghetto grandma, the golden goddesses channel, where it's like a homeless shelter. You just let everyone in there, everyone off the street, just go in there and have a little Jerry Springer drama show. That's not what I do over here. So just so you guys are made aware. They said the dude is white to me. And then, of course, forcing a mixed race identity onto people who look like that is only gatekeeping whiteness. Yeah. Mixed race academics like Emma hold on to the one drop rule and push back on the idea that we are different to black folks because it jeopardizes their privileged position in the black community. Exactly. Exactly. Because they want to be the kind of token light skin black or mixed black person in the black community. You see that in a lot of these mixed race discussions, right? Because their status is higher with the Pookies in the community than it would be amongst just the mulatto elite. We have a mulatto specific community in a mulatto specific space. We're going to be checking people's paperwork. We're going to be looking at people like, well, wait a second. This is not a classy individual. This is a baby mama, that sits around and has YouTube videos about drama and talking crap about everyone. This person needs to be quiet and go to the back somewhere. So we want academics. We want people that have strength and leadership. We want smart, intelligent, balanced people to lead the discussion. And exactly. So I'm not saying that lady Emma fits that criteria of being a baby mama, kind of Pookie leftover. But I agree. It's congruent with what you're saying. They feel like they have a higher status in black society, being that kind of token light skin or mixed person, versus if they were just in a mixed space, then there would be a whole nother ball game. The competition would be a lot higher. And a lot of times they feel like they can't compete. So yeah. Even from like the first two words in her mouth, just her kind of her the gestures, I don't know, just her positioning on her face. And I could just tell right away that she basically just wants to serve the community because, as you stated, her status would be a lot higher there than if it was just a white space or exclusively a mixed space, etc. So when people play word games, just tell them you have a white parent and a non-white parent, then they get it. Yeah. So let me get back into this real quick. And then, of course, just moving along here, a unique identity. You guys can see that. Perfect. The notion of a standalone mixed race identity that is not an offshoot of one of the more familiar identities, such as Black, white, or Asian, is not something monoracial Britain and the wider world takes seriously yet. If Barack Obama had asked to be called the first biracial president of America, many would have frowned in confusion. First Black president, we get, but first biracial president, what's that all about? Yeah. Here we go again with Meghan Markle. In Britain, Meghan Markle's racial identity sparked a national debate, even though she herself explicitly stated that in 2015's that she identifies as biracial. America's new Vice President, Kamala Harris, has presented a unique challenge to identity pronouncers in that she is an even less understood kind of mixed race, one with no white parent in the background. The default has been to mostly label her as a Black woman. Well, a white parent in the background, yeah, not fully monoracially, but her Jamaican father looks like a kind of mixed mulatto Jamaican, so to speak. I don't know his, percentile and all that, etc. But I'm thinking her father is like he's like a mixed kind of Jamaican guy. He's not purely black, because you have like Marcus Garvey type Jamaicans who are purely black. And my dad is actually like a Marcus Garvey type, but my dad's not Jamaican. He's American, ADOS, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so Kamala Harris's father seemed like he was like a mulatto. I don't know if it's confirmed, but I know he has white in his background, his family. And then her mother is Indian, right? Brahmin, I believe. So here's Meghan Markle again. She gets so much publicity and coverage when it comes to the whole biracial mixed race discussion. I think we need to balance things out. I know we have to balance things out in the airwaves and these, online spaces because there's too much liberal SJW bullshit, too much pro-black pandering bullshit with these mixed race people. We need to have a balance. We need more conservative, masculine voices that are going to create a balance that's out there, right? Or that needs to be out there. So that's definitely why I'm up here. And obviously to younger generations, they don't have to kind of kowtow and pander to these other groups with these alternative agendas. Yeah, everything should be centered around the family. If we want to keep this going from legacy, creating a legacy from family to family, generation to generation, everything, the whole discussion has to be centered around family. I'm a young man. I don't have any kids, not at the moment, because I'm responsible. I'm not a hood rat baby mama like multiracial movement, right? So I'm a responsible man, getting all my finances and everything in my life in order. But of course, the future, that's what my goal is. I think a lot of us is definitely start a family, build legacy, pass down history, and continue that cycle. So, and that's definitely what the channel focuses on here for sure. It's heteronormative, it's straight people getting together, forming families, having a community. That's what I promote here. So, continuing on, a common theme in all these cases is that monoracial commentators have dominated the public debate about what these individuals' identities are or should be. That's the key thing right there, right? It's like even Dr. Umar has no business talking about mixed race mulatto people and how we identify. No business. But they do. A lot of the pro-wax do. Tariq Rashid, a lot of your famous pro-wax, they will open up their mouth and talk about us. Well, the police just gonna see you as being black. You just gotta be black. No, 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 no. Those days are changing. As the son of a Nigerian father and Polish mother, I found it somewhat odd watching debates about about Markle's identity on British TV, in which everyone was monoracial, either black or white, with no mixed race voices. See, that's why I have a channel here. That's why we have the microphone now. And those of you who don't, I encourage you to start. We have voices now. So what was that? Yeah, let me continue on. This is like all white panel. Excuse me. Yeah, this is an all white panel discussing that blackness means, or vice versa, historically conditioned by the need to survive in societies dominated by single racial groups. Mixed race people have rarely contested this imposition. Instead, we have simply adapted to whatever identity labels those around us have decided to assign us, or which have emerged as a result of historical interracial conflicts. A classic case being the one drop rule, which is an American phenomena, which is going to be eliminated. I mean, it's already eliminated now. Okay, based for me, I'm telling you, it's eliminated. I'm the authority here. So, the one drop rule, obviously, we're going to go into that a lot more. Shout out to Flowers in the chat. She's a strong proponent of eliminating the one drop rule, Racial Integrity Act in 1924, removing us from the census in the 1930s. This is where we are today, almost 100 years later, trying to repair all of this damage. So yeah, definitely American specific, the one drop policy, which they're still trying to one drop our ass into the communitas so we can be kicked around and serve everyone else. So a classic case being the one drop rule dreamed up by white American segregationists. They're essentially basically, yeah, white supremacists. You have Plecker and his group of, medical and even bureaucrats as well, uh, which pronounced a person with any black ancestry as black, and a bit too hardened racial boundaries and foster an air of excuse me, exclusivity around whiteness. Though no longer law in American state, well, it's not finite. It's not like the law. What it is there's a lot of social kind of unwritten laws, I should say. This whole one drop policy dilemma. Yeah, that's what a lot of these pro whacks gonna tell you. Well, if you got a black parent, you're just gonna be black. The police gonna see you as black, so you just black. Just accept that and put up with my bullshit. That's basically so. It's like an unwritten law at this point, but there's no real kind of legislative, judicial kind of rules based around that. Well, how do I phrase this? Because there was a formal apology, right? I don't know the exact date. I believe it was a few years ago or 2019. I know Flowers has that information. The state of Virginia gave a formal apology of the 1924 Racial Integrity Act. So is it a formalized law? I mean, you could check whatever box you want to check. So, but there used to be punishments, right? If you were a mulatto and you checked white or something, there'd be punishment, or a fine, etc. The law was really enforced. It's one thing if it's a law, but if they enforce the law, they don't even enforce the border laws, the alien laws in a nation, or the residency laws. They don't even enforce that. So come on in, come on in. Um, so that's a whole nother discussion. Exclusivity around whiteness, though no longer a law in American state, this idea continues to shape perceptions of people with black ancestry in the U.S. and other white majority societies. It is the key reason Obama was effectively left with no realistic choice but to identify as black, and a fact he acknowledged in a 2000. I'm gonna go there. Let me go back. 60 Minutes interview. And what did Obama say? Okay, this is the transcript from the interview right here. Do they have a search button so I can find the exact text? That was what, 2007, February? Transcript excerpt from senator at that time before he elected, why he just identifies black. I'll go into that at a later date, guys. Let me get back to the main meat of the matter. Time to listen. During my research, a process which involved conducting interviews with mixed race Britons of various ages and racial backgrounds, I got a sense that attitudes are shifting. The mixed race people are tired of playing constant defense on identity and are feeling more confident to assert the identity they feel rather than simply accept whatever society assigns them. The game changer has been our growth in numbers. Exactly. That's why a lot of us, including myself, are extremely bold and assertive. I know a lot of people get pissed off. I got a lot of softies, a lot of people sensitive. I know who, I don't like your tone. You sound like you're anti-black. How the fuck can I be anti-black when I have literally black family, a black father, been to an all-black nation, look pretty damn comfortable surrounded by black people? But they're going to throw that out there. We're asserting ourselves, and we're not, we how we identify is how we identify. You got to just accept it. I'm telling you, I'm speaking for the younger people moving forward. Our numbers are growing based on the growth trajectory. I'm going to have a stream with J4 conversations coming up this next weekend, so I'll shout that out, so be sure to kind of tune into that. But based on the numbers, the growth trajectory, um we're asserting ourselves today, and really there's no going back. We're not just going to just be I'm not going to just be quiet in the corner and pander to you to make for your sensibilities. That's just, no, we have a voice now, we have an identity, and we're sharing that with the world. And so that's really beautiful. Let me read that again. The mixed race people are tired of playing constant defense on identity, and are feeling more confident to assert the identity they feel, which is mulatto, rather than simply accept whatever society assigns them, right? The game changer has been our growth in numbers, right? There's more of us now. We see each other out and about, even bumping heads in the online spaces. We're like, okay, yeah. Or bumping, I guess you could say elbows is better, or rubbing elbows, bumping fists, rather than, you know, the last census conducted in 2011, a full decade ago, recorded over 1.2 million mixed race Britons, and almost double the number it listed in the 2001 census. This itself was likely an undercount, as not all children of mixed race marriages would have been ticked in one of the mixed categories, right? Same thing in America. An analysis by Alida Nadi of Essex University and Lucinda Platt of the London School of Economics suggests the true figure today could be 3 times as high. Exactly. And it's the same thing I am referencing. I talked to Flowers, who's in the chat. I talked to Flowers about that. Basically, our numbers are a lot higher than what they've calculated. They're saying it's like around 3% or somewhere, 5% mulatto or mixed race people in America. It's a lot higher, because a lot of these people, they only solely identify as black. You see that in these mixed race communities, heavily black identified people. um and that's the funny thing. And then, why are you in a mixed race space? Why are you here on this channel, the Mulatto Vanguard? Why are you over here? If you just want to be black and serve blacks, there's thousands of YouTube channels and social media pages to do that, right? Um, According to projections commissioned by political scientist Eric Kaufman for his book, White Shift: Populism, Immigration, and the Future of White Majorities, Britain could be 30% mixed race by the end of this century. And here, these are probably the most prominent elected officials. Now, the thing is, these are liberal shills, okay? He is serving a liberal agenda, which, is not even really a black agenda, okay? It's an alternative agenda. I don't even want to get into that because it's extremely complex, right? It's not the discussion today. And of course, same thing with her. She's whatever the hell you tell her to be. She'll be Indian, she'll be black, she'll be this and that. She's not really 100%, affirming the mulatto identity or mixed race identity. So these people are complete tools to the kind of globalist agenda, not to get too conspiracy theory, you know, here, but it's clearly obvious, these people, you know, have an agenda, right? And they're using them they're the thing is with the pro-wax, they're going to look at them and they're going to say all mixed race people are bad. You can't trust them. Obama didn't do nothing for blacks. Well, you blacks didn't ask him to do shit anyways, you know? And same thing with her. You had all these black women saying, my vice president looks like me. She doesn't look like a lot of you, especially you goofy divester types. They were actually literally saying that. The divestors liked her because she's married to a white man. But a lot of you divestors, you don't look like her. Let me tell you that. Like, my vice president looks like me. And you're looking at people blacker than the Black Panther, talking about she looks like them. Yeah, okay, whatever. Have fun. These though they're tools though, okay, guys? They're tools. So just so you know where I stand politically, obviously I'm conservative. I got to reassert that and state that because a lot of these like groups on Facebook or whatever, they're really pushing hard, saying this is a progressive group and all this. Okay, well, I got to create my own group. Got to create my own conservative group. So we got to create some balance out here. There's an imbalance in the force. So all over Britain, mixed race people now consistently see many others like them around them. Yeah, definitely in Britain. I see that in America too. Um, they sense a vulnerability that comes with feeling people like you are a tiny minority in society is disappearing. While many I spoke to still struggle with the contradictions and uncertainties of navigating multiple racial identities. There is also a growing realization that it is time monoracial societies started adapting to us as well, not solely the other way around. Right. And I'm very assertive in that as well. I feel like it's time that these people, okay, black and white, but it's mainly black who give us lip in trouble. They need to realize that we're here now. We're not going anywhere, and our numbers are going to grow and our voices are going to get louder. So they need to adapt to us being here. You're not going to just try to shame us or silence us, and we're just going to be in the corner. I'm not. I mean, there's other people who are punks who will let you do that. They just want to fit in for clicks and views and subscribers and all that. That's fine. But that's not what I'm doing. And it says, it is less we who are confused about being mixed race that it is society being confused about how to deal with us. 38-year-old daughter of a Zimbabwean father and an English German mother said to me, or as Danielle, the 23-year-old son of an English father and Pakistani mother, observed. The days of racial purity, be it black, white, or Asian, are over and are a pretty old school idea. My generation won't accept the idea of fixed racial and identity boundaries or people imposing on them who they are allowed to feel like. They just won't. Yeah. I mean, I don't allow it. I laugh when I had pro-wax like Dr. Umar and the rest of them. I laugh. Like, I'm saying them because these are the people who are online with big followings who push that stuff. I don't really see it from the kind of white conservative side. If you do see it, share me the information. You guys have my email me. I want to see it. A few responsible people today would dispute the fact that race is a social construct. Few responsible people today would dispute the fact that race is a social construct. So I got to double check the author of this because that's a very general, broad statement. No numbers or statistics to back it up. Just his general few reasonable people today would dispute the fact that race is a social construct. So we're all just supposed to believe it's a social construct, right? Something we humans imagine into existence, which by no means detracts from its powerful impact on people's everyday lives. What ultimately matters is what people believe matters. The good news is that which has been imagined can be reimagined. The key is to recreate social contract constructs of race and identity in a way that offers the greatest opportunity possible for people to thrive. When it comes to mixed race people, the way to start is by society asking us who we are, not telling us. Yeah, because people want to tell you, "Oh, you're just black." The pro wax gonna tell you the police gonna see you as black, so you gotta just identify as black and let us use you so we can get some of them light skinned women. So I think you guys can see that. Yeah, Remy Adekoya. My main research interests include a discursive strategies used to construct national ethnic and racial identities by political actors and politics and emotions around identity, 21st century, and developmental issues affecting Africa. He's a British guy. Uh, essays on illiberalism. African National Television, South African Broadcasting Corporation. Before joining academia, political journalist, written Foreign Affairs, provided socio-political analysis and commentary for BBC. Activity, University of York, associate lecturer in politics. Yeah, I don't know. He has a Twitter website and stuff. Yeah, I think I can check into all that stuff at another time to really kind of get a gist of who that gentleman is. But yeah, let me get in University of York. Cool. Let me get into some of your guys' comments here. So it looks like we got some hyena in the house. Make sure you hit the like button. And I need to actually assert as well, just like Hybrid Vigor asserts on his channel. This is a hyena free channel. Okay. This is hyena free. So if I drop the link, no hyenas are allowed to jump up on the panel. You're not going to run your mouth like the ghetto grandma, golden goddess, running her yap with all her curse words and swearing. I'm not going to let any ghetto hyenas on the panel to just turn this into a Jerry Springer show. Do that on your Ratchet channel. So this is a hyena free channel. You can watch, you can sit down like a good hyena and listen and hit the like button. But yeah. So let's see what we got here. Yeah. So people over here are short-sighted. Yeah, and then you're over here. Yeah, so you're smart, aren't you? Mulattoes can only go so far. Okay. According to this person, children of two mulattoes, parents aren't what you call a mulatto. Well, according to me, if you have two mulattoes and they come together and they have a child, the child's a mulatto, right? So that's according to me. I don't know where your scholarly work is or where your data or evidence is, but this is my channel and that's what I'm asserting here. So mulatto man, mulatto woman get together, they have a child, the child's mulatto, right? So yeah, I think I've seen you before, but the indication here with the L in the Pyramid of Giza, whatever. So make sure you hit the like button. Thanks for watching. January 10th, 2021, General Assembly of Virginia apologized for Virginia's participation in the eugenics experience at the 1924 Racial Integrity Act. Look it up. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was referencing you because I know you've actually kind of dug that research up, the exact date, and it was that was 2001. Okay, yeah, I thought it was a couple years ago, but it was actually 20 plus 2001. The General Assembly of Virginia, they officially apologized for their participation. Yeah, thank you for reminding me about that. So yeah, so there was a formal apology. So yeah, the law is not really in effect, I guess you can say per se. The one drop policy, you can choose to identify how you want, but there's still kind of a social kind of unwritten law. I feel like with different monoracial groups. Well, you're part black, you're black, right? Well, no, not really. Because you get around the blacks, especially the pro wax from the hood. Oh, you ain't from the hood? Oh, dog, you don't listen to Nipsey Hussle? Oh, man, you ain't got a baby mama? Oh, shit, dog, you ain't from the hood, dog. So, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I actually went to college. I actually work, you know. I like to read books and I like to hang out with like-minded people who are civilized. So, if that doesn't make me, from the hood, well, that's good for me. I mean, I'll go around if I'm going to get entertained or get money, like, if I'm going to get paid or if you're going to dance and sing for me, entertain me, then yeah, I can hang out. But other than that, I mean, mulatto was originally as the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution. The one drop rule was a privilege for Black Americans to share the identity with the mulattoes. Thank you, with us mulattoes. It was a blessing and privilege because we had our own classification, our own communities. Like I've shared, the Brown community they had in the early 1900s, which was mulatto specific. They had cemetery services, right? Where they had grave sites and cemeteries specifically for mulatto people, mulatto churches, etc. We had our own business structures and institutions at that time, right? And so it was a blessing, the one drop policy, because all those mulatto people just got thrown into the Black community. Then you look at Adam Clayton Powell, you look at Dr. Claude Anderson, you look at W.E.B. Du Bois, you look at all these prominent figures they classify as Black history coming up. They're going to be talking about them. Yeah, all their expertise, their wealth, and their knowledge went to serve the community, right? And now the children, now in this generation today, we're the ones catching a lot of hell. We're being outgrouped, right? We're being excluded and outgrouped, and we're being gate kept. And a lot of us were looking stupid. So for me, I don't like being made to look stupid. That's why I was like, you know what, man, forget all this. I got to create my own space. I got to do something different, man. So right here it says Remy is a center right wing commentator. He has a book out about being biracial. Okay, that was the guy I referenced. Okay, you said he's center right wing commentator. He has a book about being okay. Yeah, so it looks like you're probably thoroughly researched. Obviously, this is your fellow countrymen, so you're well aware of that. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out. I put him here in my notes. Oh yeah, his book right here. It's called. He has a couple books about being biracial. Biracial Britain: A Different Way to Look at Race. It was published 2021, a few years ago. Let me pull it up here so you guys can see. The gentleman you just referenced actually has a book. Okay, cool. Yeah, I wasn't aware. I didn't really research the gentleman. So published in January 28, 2021. So 2 years ago, Biracial Britain: A Different Way to Look at Race. Cool, cool, cool. And you said his political kind of he's leaning more right centered, is what you're saying. So cool. Yeah. I'll definitely, check that out. And then you also added here, he's often on telly during debates on race and racism. The white police see mulattoes as black, while the black police see mulattoes as white, right? An opportunity to get assertive with half white person. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, most of the hate you're gonna get from blacks is because the colorism thing, right? Because they see that you're half white, and especially for someone like me who speaks very proper and I'm eloquent, right? And I articulate, like a person who's been educated at a university. I cuss sometimes, I have a foul mouth, I add emphasis, I know. But definitely, yeah. So when they not only when a lot of these ghetto blacks they see you, they might think a certain way, but when they hear you and someone like me talk, they want to try to punk you or not all. I mean, I'm a difficult guy to punk. You have to you have to have some numbers, and I'm not really in spaces like that where I'm outnumbered. And so what I'm saying is that yeah, basically they look at it as an opportunity to punk a white person because they see you. They're like they could see a white person in you or a half white person essentially. So they're looking at you like, oh, this is my opportunity to punk like a white person because they know damn well they knew what happened to their granddaddy if he got out of line with white people, right? So they weren't gonna dare try to check a white person. So they look at you, they're like, hey, shit, let me try to punk you. That'll be my way to get back at at least a white adjacent person, etc. For sure. Let's see. The act declaring what persons shall be deemed mulattoes. Yeah, 1779. Look it up. Yeah. Cool guys. There's actually going to be a stream in a few hours. I think Magic Mulatta. She's going to have a stream, so I encourage you guys to go check that stream out. Um, and I am not 100% sure if whoever else, within these spaces have it. Oh, actually, let me check. I think I just saw something. Oh, actually, yeah, we have a gentleman, J4 Conversations. Let me share. I think his stream is around the same time as Magic, though. So, right here, Dr. King and the Biracials. Biracials owe big to Dr. King. So this is J4 Conversations. He has a stream coming up saying biracials, we owe him. It's interesting because I have a stream coming up tomorrow on Martin Luther King Jr. Day for Mulatto Monday. And I think you guys already kind of see the tab. I guess I can share if I have it here. Upcoming. So here, and you can look at a tab, it says reciprocity, mulatto elites. I didn't really MLK Junior Day. I don't really have any other details here. Obviously, I'm gonna fill that in later on. I don't want to share everything, before the stream. But reciprocity. So I can just give you guys a kind of hint, a clue of what I mean by that is basically you when you give something, you get something in return. There's supposed to be a fair trade-off. So that's basically my whole theory behind that. What I want to talk about tomorrow, just so you guys get a kind of little heads up about that. What else do I got here? I think that's it. J4 Conversations is gonna have a stream. Looks like in a couple hours. Magic is too. So Magic Mulatta. So you guys can go ahead and kind of check that out. Okay, and then I guess I can kind of share something from my community tab really quick here before I let you guys go. So obviously I put, are you subscribed to this channel? 75% said yes, and then 25% no. So I wonder if this lady here who stated, according to you only, very assertive, definitely getting feminist kind of hyena vibes from you. Um, so you might be part of that demographic who's not subscribed, but you're over here commenting and all this is funny. I don't, whatever. Um, but yeah, I don't know, because I don't get it, man. Like, I used to be subscribed to Tariq Nasheed, but I got tired of his shit. During my epiphany moment, what 2019 or beginning of 2020, I unsubscribed and I was like, late, see you later. If I don't watch your channel or view your content, I don't even go to your chat room. I don't engage. There's too many channels out here. There's too much stuff to do. Oh, she's a lesbian. Yeah, yeah. It very masculine because of the L in the pyramid. That's like that's a man-made structure, the pyramid, right? And so for someone who's a female, and it just the way she's kind of addressing me, right, is very masculine kind of posturing. I'm like, well, you're supposed to be a lady. Like, why are you coming at me, a dude? You know, there's a lot of other feminist lesbian channels, like, The Future is Golden or, Multiracial Movement. Those are all feminist lesbian channels. Have fun over there. You said you've seen her on Melanie King. I think Melanie King is the a black lady, right? Who does like the red pill or relationship advice or something like that. So I had a poll here. Beautiful people, which series are you most interested in? So most people like to enter the pro whack zone, right? And I just kind of did one the other day with Dr. Umar Johnson. So whenever more like clips pop up, I'm definitely willing and open to talk more about that. That's one of the reasons why I kind of decided to create a YouTube channel as well, was to kind of combat and challenge a lot of the conspiracy theories and anti-mulatto rhetoric from a lot of the pro-blacks, right? They're basically saying we're agents, you can't trust us. And I was like, well, shit, we got to create our own spaces. I'm not going to be around a group of people who want to basically say they don't trust me and that, I'm working for white people. I'm like, I'm out of here, man. I'm going to create my own space. Then blackwashing mulatto history, mulatto icons got, it was only 9 votes. Come on, guys. I got like 300 plus subscribers, only 9 votes. I have a lot of looky loos. And then I have people like this lady here who's basically probably not even subscribed. I don't know, but she's hating on me in the chat. She says she's a lesbian, right? But all y'all can talk about is gender wars. I mean, I have a lot of women who support my channel. I have one right here, a moderator, who supports my channel. So I'm not exactly sure why the whole gender. Let me share this too, since you want to be a knucklehead, okay? And you want to get out of line with me. Let me share as well, like promotion I do on my page and my channel, because I'm tired of you lesbian hyenas running your mouth about men saying we're starting a gender war when I uplift women on my channel. Here we have mulatto content creators. You guys can, let me get rid of your foolish comment. It says J4 Conversations, who's a man, telling Stuart, who's a woman, she's a moderator here, the Mulatto's channel, which Hybrid Vigor, it's co-ed. He had a live stream yesterday with Magic Mulatta, So it's a co-ed. The channel is built and centered around men and women having discussions that pertain to mulatto people. Okay, so this is co-ed. This is another man, hybrid vigor, and this is his girlfriend, mulatta Pixie. So it's a woman, right? And then we have another woman here, mulatta mermaid. Okay, and we have another woman here, Afropean Monica. Okay, representing in the UK. Okay, and then we have another woman here, mulatta Northern Lights. So literally, was this five right here? And then we have three. So out of the 8 channels here, I have posted, 2 of them are men, one of them's co-ed. That means the other 5 are women, are females. I mean, it's more than a balance. You know, it's clearly a lot of promotion of straight. See, that's what you have an issue with because you're a lesbian, you're a hyena. You have an issue that I prioritize straight women who actually like men. They get priority over here. Okay, those are the women that I'm going to protect, I'm going to advocate for and stick up for. If you're a little lesbian hyena getting out of line with men, I mean, click the like button, and keep it pushing. I don't know why you're over here. See, because that gives you strength. You want to challenge the man. You want, let me see. You're actually engaging. Um, to a lesbian trying to have empathy for mulatto dudes, I'm trying to reach out to y'all. Clearly, you mixed dudes have some major flaws. Yeah, thank you. I have an email too if you want to reach out. I'm not sure why publicly in the chat what you think you're going to accomplish. It looks bad on you, not me. I mean, if you have so much to say, if you're strong about your belief systems, create a channel. It's crazy. You have a lot of troll channels. Even your best buddy, the ghetto grandma, the golden goddess, right? Now, what kind of an idiot? She calls herself a goddess. She is nowhere near. I mean, she's gross, right? But she's a narcissist. She thinks she's a goddess. She thinks everyone's jealous. No one's jealous of her ass. But even for her, she created a whole troll channel trying to troll people. I mean, why don't you do the same just like her? Start trolling people and get your clicks and views and you have too many enemies, or she does. She's pissed off a lot of the black people too in those divester circles and shit. Yeah. This dude has an agenda. I'm not surprised you only have 7 people watching, including yourself. I'm not watching. What are you talking about? I'm streaming. Looks like I have 8 people now. I think the height of the viewership was about 12. It's funny how much shit you're talking. Where's your channel? Let me see. What's it? Australia? Let me check out if you even have any content up there. You probably don't. I think I've seen you before. Australia Yanez L. I think you said you're from the New York. You have 41 subscribers. You got one video. I mean, let me see. You can't make this shit up, man. Estedia Yanez L. Mariah Yanez. So I think I've talked to you prior before, and I think you are like from the East Coast or something. You're like an Afro Latina or something, but the L would indicate you were indoctrinated into um uh you know like I don't know what the hell you're indoctrinated to. So let's see who you're subscribed to. Honest Truth, I Am, Michael Jackson, Zach, Mariah Carey, Miss Philosophy. You're a lesbian though, you said, right? Proud, which is fine. I just don't. To me, I have no issue with what you do in your bedroom. That's your business. But my channel is for straight people. Oh, and you got the Blasian Queen here. Yeah, that's a red flag. It's a homosexual guy. And occult lectures. So you're all dabbling in the occult, in Moorish science, and all this stuff. Yeah. So Oh, your future is golden. Another lesbian feminist. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Yeah. The ghetto grandma, a narcissist who calls herself a goddess. Yeah. Another lesbian. Right. Or a bisexual, because I think she's married, or she beat up her husband, so she's probably separated, spousal abuser. But she has kids, so yeah, she's a bisexual, but she's attracted to women as well as men. But Only Pookie will accept her bullshit. No civilized, decent man will listen to her dumbass. Get out of line. So these are your subscribers. So there's some golden sphere people, some occult stuff, and some pro-black stuff. So it's all over the place. But I look at your videos, you have no videos yourself. So you have no videos yourself, but you're in the chat commenting, telling me what I should say. You only got 7 people watching. No one's watching your ass. So I don't know what you're talking about, lady. Um, who sent you, man? Probably Futures Golden sent you or some shit. Yeah, people want to push this gender shit over here. That's what the multiracial movement and Golden Goddess, they're from the divester sector. So they're hell bent on pushing the gender war narrative. It's not going to work over here. There's too many women who are willing to work and collaborate with me and work with me. So that gender war bullshit is not going to work over here. Go to the divester space, okay? Go over to the pro wax spaces. They're divided up by gender. You got the passport bros, SYSBM, Black Manosphere. You have the woman sphere, lesbian, separatist, feminist, the woman sphere. That's who Gigi likes, which is all just a little lesbian club. You have those spaces, okay? That's not here though. That's not this channel. That's why I'm just curious, who the hell are you calling ugly? We don't even know what you look like, lady. You got a picture of the Pyramid of Giza and a Sphinx in your avatar. Nobody knows what the hell you look like, but you're calling people ugly. Man, you people are hilarious. Yeah, it's almost ending. I guess I read. You're entertaining slightly before I get some food to eat. I have no reason to troll. I'm not even over here like that. Well, the fact that you're here, yeah, thank you, I guess. Slightly entertaining. Just hit the like button. I didn't type yourself. Okay. I'm not from effing NYC. I don't know. I think that was me kind of making a assertion. I don't know where the hell you're from, whatever. But you look familiar. Like one of my first streams you popped up. I know you're a pro whack, so I already know, and you're a lesbian, so that's a red flag. So I already know you're already gonna have a problem with what I'm doing. Like I said, I don't really block. I try not. If I blocked you, not you, Australia, because you're not being really too out of line. But the thing is, people I block, like they definitely deserved it. Um, so you're welcome to make a comment and hit the like button and watch. You know, I don't know if you don't like what I got going on. Why are you watching? That's why I told you I'm not like that, man. I don't watch, bluish gelato, because he's pretty dry. His content's boring, and he promotes tea and drama, which is fine for his crowd, But I'm not subscribed to his channel. I don't watch his channel. So it's just funny how Well, I mean, I watched a couple streams of bluish gelato, especially if the topic involved me or my team, etc. Then I definitely have to, gather up data. But for you who are a pro-black lesbian, you're on a channel that is not pro-black, and you're on a channel that promotes heteronormative nuclear families. We are straight people. There's a reason why. You're the only homosexual I think that's in the chat that's ever been in my chat. Maybe Blasian Queen before I told him to skedaddle by, because he follows the Golden Goddess. Wherever Golden Goddess goes, she has her loyal bandit of homosexuals like Irby, Fruitcake Fatal, and Blasian Queen, the typical homosexuals. So they follow the women. That's, masculine men, straight men. We don't follow women. Okay. But I'm just curious, like, yeah, you're probably the only person who's same sex attracted who's like in my chat. You should know what I'm about by now. That I don't promote that type of stuff over here. So you're born and raised in a red state. Cool. No, we have never talked. Well, I think you were in my chat before, a long time ago. So what? Your closet homeboy sounds like a closet homo. Your closest, excuse me. Your closest homeboy sounds like a closet homo. Yeah. I sure don't. I never told you want, you shouldn't, or should say. That's all you talk about. You're a peon for hybrid, a closet home. Yeah. Where's your evidence for that? Where's your evidence for this type of stuff? This is funny. You know, she's going after me. That's cute. Yeah. I guess this is the tea portion of the stream, which I said I don't really promote tea, but this is some little pro whack lesbian agent. Because I already blocked Golden Goddess's bitch ass. I don't want that piece of shit anywhere near my channel. Golden Goddess, multiracial movement, the future is golden, the rest of those fucking scumbags, they're not welcome over here. So I blocked all of those hoes. So you're probably the only one left. So that's why you're over here acting foolish. Yeah, it's always the ugly ones. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I'm the ugly one. Yeah, and nobody knows what you look like. Yeah, okay. I'm no pro whack, but if that makes you feel, well, I think you've always had an issue with me because I always knew you were a fucking pro whack. I think that's why you've always had an issue, lady. Why is this lady complaining about this channel? I don't know, man, but it's kind of entertaining slightly before I head out of here. I don't know. I just tell her, hey, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Hit the like button, be respectable, be respectful, and be respectful to people in my chat. This is a heteronormative channel. This channel promotes straight men and straight women coming together and creating families, everything centered around education and educating the future generations. And so we have our own spaces and we can protect ourselves. And you've clearly indicated publicly in the chat that you are a lesbian, you are a homosexual, okay? That is against the nuclear family. So I mean, you're the minority here, lady. Kind of out of the box, right? I don't appreciate you muddying up this space. What space are you talking about? Consistently talking shit about people who are gonna go. What space? You're on my channel. You have no. I already checked your channel. Okay, let me do it again. What space are you talking about? Muddying up this space. You sound like the future is golden. You know, you feminist lesbians act like you run shit. You don't. Okay, you have a channel, you got 41 subscribers, no videos of your own, and you want to talk about a space. This is probably the Futurist Golden's troll account or some shit. I don't know, man. But you're talking just like her, like a hyena, talking about this space. Dude, I'm not in your space. Check the people in my chat. I've had to bring people outside of the YouTube sphere into and introduce my channel to them because I was like, I'm looking at a bunch of these weirdos, people who are uneducated, who don't provide any useful data for us to help and grow, to formalize a real community, a real group. I saw, yeah, man. I'm like, this space, that whole this space argument, that is that lesbian futurist golden hyena rhetoric where she wants to control. We got to get the men in line. This is our lesbian feminist space, you know. Yeah. Always the ugly ones. An ugly mulatto is still better than a non-mulatto. Most mulattoes look pretty damn good, you know. I mean, the hottest chicks that I see are mulatto women. I mean, I think, we look good. So you're saying I'm ugly. You bald, you ugly, you short. I don't like your beard. Okay, well, what the hell do you look like? We compare images with each other. I mean, we don't know what you look like, lady. So what if I'm a lesbian? I'm doing society a favor. A gay man and hetero spread STDs. Look at this. That's hate speech, ma'am. You're clearly a misandrist. So even being a lesbian, you're part of the LGBT community. You don't even like the men. You're spreading misandrist messages towards men, saying gay men and heteros spread STDs nonstop. So you've clearly identified that you are anti-man, you are a misandrist, and so you're over here trying to get your, 5 minutes of fame, etc. You've clearly exposed yourself, ma'am. I don't cater to lesbians, and hyenas. This is a hyena-free channel. And I have a zero tolerance policy for misandry. And you've just stated yourself right there. You're even throwing gay men under the bus, even though you're gay yourself. You can't make this shit up, man. Because you're a queen, right? Because you're a woman, so you got some special authority. Man, get the, see, people like you, and this is right here, the lesbian conspiracy theory that we are fucking up society by building everything. And listen to this, guys. This lesbian pro-whack, she has a picture of the Pyramid of Giza in a sphinx in her avatar picture, which were built by men. But yet here she is saying fucking up society. She's saying hetero men and gay men are messing up society. But this lesbian woman, okay, has a picture of a man-made structure, one of the wonders of the world, in her avatar picture. You can't make this shit up. And it says here, pro-whack agent. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not pro-whack or pro-black. Well, you've kind of already basically, uncovered that you are pro-lesbian, right? You're anti-man. You're a misandrist. I'm not sure why you're bothering. It's the end of the stream, bro. Or it's the end of the stream, so I'm just kind of before I kind of skedaddle out of here, I'm just chilling like a villain. We have a couple other people who have streams this evening. Like I said, J4 Conversations, and then also Magic Mulatto. I think their streams are going to air around the same time. Both mulatto people, both people I recommend. They're definitely spreading awareness as far as the mulatto plight, and they're doing it in a way that I think is probably more diplomatic than me. I tend to ruffle feathers. I tend to piss people off. I'm more assertive, obviously. I have a lot of testosterone. I tend to bump heads with people. I try to be as respectable as I can. But I'm just entertaining this foolishness right now. You definitely speak like her, because she's like a hardcore lesbian, and she like acts like the women should lead men. And if you look at the men on her channel, I don't see masculine straight men over there listening to her bullshit. I don't see any real soldiers over there. I see the same people that are over there with the golden grandma and the multiracial bowel movement, which are effeminate men. That's why we call them hyenas. The reverse gender roles, right? And obviously hybrid vigor can, eloquently articulate this better than me. He has more knowledge in that area, so he can explain that. This heteronormative culture where literally the women take the role like a golden goddess, how she wants to all cuss and cussing and swearing, acting all tough, or she wants to act like a man. Listen to multiracial bowel movement. She literally talks like a fucking man. She talks like a dude. I mean, it's amazing. So she wants to be the man. She wants to be the boss bee and all this stuff, right? And then the men they have over there are a lot of the weak simps, okay? And then they have the gay guys over there. That, you look at the people in my chat, besides you, I don't know, you just hopped in here because you want some attention. But every other day, every other stream I do, you analyze the people in my chat. There's normal straight people. The men are men, the women are women. You look at, someone like a multiracial bowel movement or golden grandma or whatever, you look at their chat. I mean, you got the gay men, effeminate men, and then the women are like the boss bees, reverse gender roles. Fuck out of here. You're talking about Gigi and Malty and Golden is muddying up our space. Yeah, your space. That's the homonormative space. Build your little mulatto sphere. Well, it's already built. You're on it, lady. You're an interloper. You are trying to subvert what we're doing. We already built the space. We're here. We're already live. We're broadcasting to the world. I got people in the UK, etc. In America, Canada. This is an international endeavor. We're already live, baby. The space is already here. It's not going anywhere. And keep people in the golden sphere out your mouth. Nah, I can say to you, fuck you, because you're over here. Okay. Now I don't know you. I'll be respectable. I'll be respectful. But you're not going to come over here and tell me what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. So I'm not going to try to get all spicy and go down to the level of the ghetto ratchet people over there. That's what they want. I'm pretty sure they sent you over here. Of course, why else are blacks always claiming us to pretend we are them? Yeah. I don't. Gay men and heteros are spreading no hate, just facts, but you don't provide any sources or facts. That's the thing. we're well aware that you're not providing any sources or facts, okay? So I have a problem with these statements. You're clearly a lesbian misandrist, okay? You clearly have an issue with men, because the sad part is you're even throwing gay men under the bus. Now, I don't have an issue with gay men or any man. What you do in the bedroom, that's your business, okay? When I see the gay guys who want to serve under the women and they want to fulfill the feminist lesbian agenda and they want to attack the straight men, then I have an issue with it. And I call those people out for it, right? But I don't have it. But you're out here just a straight up misandrist, you know. You've been exposed. So if I see you on any other man's channel, they're gonna know clearly, you know, no hate, just facts. But of course, there's no citations, there's no sources. You're not providing any data, no links that we can look it up. I'm not gonna search it. That's your job. You're making these racist, misandrous statements saying that, gay men is homophobic. Well, you're a homosexual, but you're a misandrous lesbian. So then you're saying just men in general are spreading diseases. Yeah. People who deny misandry exist are the same people who say only whites can be racist. Yeah, because you have to understand, in my experience growing up in Southern California, I'll just publicly say that the Mexican American, the Chicanos, they're more racist than white people. A lot of them are even super bold to where they will even publicly say that online. They'll brag about it. I've seen it on YouTube comments and Twitter. They're like, I'm Hispanic. I'm more racist than whites. They'll publicly, because their numbers are higher, so they can be public about it and bold. And also Eastern Indians, or what in the UK they call South Asian. So like people who are Indian. I've seen them, a lot of them, to be super anti-black and super racist, more than white people. Again, guys, remember I'm half white, right? White mother, white family, so or half of my family at least. So and I grew up around a lot of white people, so socialized in a specific way, as you could probably tell by listening to my voice. So I have a lot of firsthand knowledge on this. Yeah, there's a lot of other groups who are even darker complected than me, who are extremely anti-black or anti just kind of African identified anything, or just plain racist. Yeah, so I agree. It's not only whites who can be racist. A lot of these other groups are. I'm referring you to gay men and heteros are messing up society. And you're saying not just hetero men, hetero women as well. Yeah, you're gross, man. You're gross. So that's what it is, because you're against civilization. We all are here because of a union between a man and a woman coming together, having children, creating families. You're against that. You're against the normal order of the world. So now you hate the world, you hate everyone around you. So that's why you probably fall in line with the pro-whack shit, because you want to be a victim. And now you're probably a part of the intersectionality. Maybe because I called out intersectionality a couple streams ago. That's probably why you kind of jumped out now and are being very vicious, because you know that we see you. We see you. We see how you operate. And men are the builders. Okay. Men built the civilization. Men built the place, probably the home you're sitting in with internet access for you to jump on here talking crap. Men built the computers, internet. So, you should thank men next time before you put your little misandrous comments. And it's not normal. What you're doing is not normal. You can't build families. You can't, build legacy. Can't build civilization. So, we're just weirdo people, man, on the internet. And you don't show your face. Obviously, I'm on the avatar right now. I'm chilling. I'm going to post a short in a little bit. You'll see what my mug looks like. I got my picture all over the screen. I'm not like scared to hide who I am, right? So I'm highly visible because I have a uh, healthy ego and healthy confidence in myself, right? So this is yours truly here, right? So I love the fact how it's like you're just ugly, man, and you're best friends with the guy who's probably, in the closet or whatever. It's like, yeah, okay, that's cute. But what the hell do you look like, lady? You know, nobody knows what you look like. I don't even want to know. You're a lesbian. I'm not interested. Okay. And it says, if men stayed home for one day, the world would collapse. Yeah. Yeah. She's in a red state. And red, see, that's why she's probably miserable too, because red, the conservative, they believe in families, right? We believe in families, and we believe in gender roles, traditional gender roles. And so someone like this, she wants the men excuse me, she wants the women to rule. She wants the women to be the rulers and the men to serve the hyenas. It's not going to happen over here. Good luck. You got a couple of them over there, the simps who are thirsty, who just want to smell. You got like black manosphere kind of people over in that sector. That's what the golden sphere basically is, because golden sphere is when the black manosphere and the divestor space come together and join forces. You basically have the golden sphere. A lot of them are rejects, right? So do you think what you want to think I'm just calling? You're not really calling anything out. So actually, you know what? Let me do this. I'm going to drop the link. I'll entertain you for a minute, but you're not going to come up here and start yelling and yapping at me or anything like that, because I will just drop you off. So nobody hit the link. So this lady says she's calling me out. Feel free to hit the link and chime in if you have anything interesting to say, but don't come up here, start barking orders and yelling. We can have an intelligent conversation like adults. So I put the link in the chat. The link's for you. It's not for anybody else. Nobody else, don't hit the link. Okay. Family structure means nothing to you people. You don't even know that your children won't be mulattoes. They're what the golden sphere was made of. But no, you dummies had to come along and try to fuck up the golden sphere. Who effed up the golden sphere? That's funny. I never want attention. I spoke in here to call you out. How are you calling me out, man? You're making yourself look stupid. You don't even have any videos. Nobody knows what the hell you look like, what you sound like, what your philosophies are. We know you're a lesbian, and you're coming over here to call me out. Like I said, the least you can do is at least hit the like button or subscribe too. But I know, obviously, the philosophies are not congruent. I don't promote hyenas and lesbians. They're just, no, I'm not interested. So, but yeah, that's their own self hate when they talk like that. They don't want to raise themselves up. They want to bring us down. They know they can't do what we do. Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. The golden sphere was never going anywhere. The people in it don't have the money, resources, or skills needed for it to grow into something offline. Yeah. Well, you have baby mamas and hood rats who are like the leaders, like the ghetto grandma, aka Golden Goddess, in multiracial bowel movement. She has her cash. She's like, hit up my cash app, hit up my cash app. Struggling baby mama. They're broke as fuck. They're begging for resources, begging for money, and they don't have the intelligence or knowledge base to push. It's basically a spot where they can hang out, and they have their simps or their Pookie contingent, because only Pookie will put up with Multi and Gigi, their mouth and how they act ghetto and ratchet. Only a Pookie guy, a simp, will put up with that shit, right? A civilized, intelligent mulatto man, college educated, they're not going to put up with that. So exactly, it wasn't going to go anywhere anyways. There was no leadership, no structure. The guy, I guess Caesar Cannon, he basically, took a back seat somewhere, and he let other people run it, and they ran into the ground. I don't know why these people are crying. I found somebody who has your potential, or he found me, et cetera, et cetera. You're going to work with people you want to work with. So me and Hybrid Vigor, the Mulattoes channel, we embrace the mulatto identity. We promote mulatto issues. We have flowers here in the chat. I work with people I want to work with. So you have, multiracial bowel movement and Golden Grandma. They have a endeavor together. What do? They have a tea channel. They have a podcast called Sipping Tea with Malty where they talk shit about people and drama. So that's the extent, that's your golden sphere. Okay, they get together and they talk shit about people. Me and Hybrid Vigor, we get together and we talk about news, the mulatto news. We talk about feminism and a bunch of other topics. So it's just, there's no comparison. This channel is the only one for me this evening. I'm going to recite the until I sleep. Yeah. Mulatto sphere won't go far. Your offsprings, well, yeah, my offspring is mulatto. I don't know why you're still commenting here. Shouldn't you hit that link and hop up? Let's see what we got here, right here. That's for you. Hit the link. Oh, this is cute. This is cute right here. Let me see this. What does it say? Male rule, our planet is on the verge of destruction. So you're a conspiracy wingnut, you know? You don't have high hopes in the future in the planet. You know, it's on the verge of destruction. So you're probably part of the Emma, that little brat over there in Europe, Emma, Greter, whatever. What the hell's her name? Gernsberg or some shit. Who's, you know, I think she's a lesbian too. So, you're probably part with her talking about the planet's on the verge of destruction and all this. Yeah. I used to like your shit and used to be subbed as well. Hey, you should probably sub again. You actually used to like me. I wonder what changed. The funny thing is I have the link in the chat, you know, but you don't hit it. You don't want to talk. You don't want to tell me what it is you don't like about me. I used to like your shit. Well, it's not shit I have here, okay? This is content I'm putting from the heart, researched. I could do a really good job. I got a full-time job and a part-time job, right? Okay, I teach people English online. My English isn't the best. I didn't go to school. My discipline isn't the English language. My discipline is speech and communication. But I found a way to make money teaching people around the world English, so I do that. Um, and so it's like, you know, this is something extra for me that I can communicate. This is like my window to the world. I can communicate with other people who are like-minded mulatto people. Um, so it's funny how you talk like that. You say that you like my shit. It ain't shit, okay? It's content. It's mulatto specific content. The content's geared for mulatto people who want to learn more about the history because our stories are told through the black lens, okay? In America, when we have so many accomplishments, and it's only told as being black. And what the reason why it's a disservice is because black people can pick and choose who to claim. Like they'll take all of our mulatto wins and say it's a black win, it's black excellence. They'll take all of our wins, like Charles Drew, who worked for the American Red Cross, who established a blood bank. They'll claim his wins. Excuse me. But just an everyday guy, everyday mulatto, they're going to try to punk you and outgroup you. I'm not saying all, but the haters will. The Pookies and some of the haters, they're gonna try to outgroup you. Oh, you got a white mom. You ain't black like me. You ain't from the hood. Oh man, you don't talk like me. You don't like Nipsey Hussle. You ain't from the hood, dog. So they'll try to outgroup you, but they'll claim all of our wins. They'll claim Obama. They'll claim everything good. So what we're doing now, we have the microphone. We're saying, fuck that. You ain't claiming all of us like that. You're not claiming any of us. You know, we're establishing ourselves now. And there's the people I find out, because black people, they know that they're out of bounds, that they really can't really, you know, basically, how do I want to say this? They can't, they know that it's true that they can't deny us of our identity being mulatto. What I find is the people who are the biggest haters who are going to push back, who want you to serve the community, are going to be other mulattoes. Black identified, biracial, mixed mulatto people. Those are the number one people. As I shared with you that video in England, in Britain, a biracial Britain, that video, It's going to be black identified mixed people are going to be your number one opposition, and the LGBT leaning ones, right? They're the ones who are going to get all uppity. They're the ones who are going to challenge what you do. I already know that. So, you know, you used to actually like me. I haven't even been up here that long, right? I think it's been like 6 months or so. Um, yeah, it's been like 6 months since I've been uploading content. Here, you guys been hearing my voice. I've had this channel for a long time, but I've been watching everyone else's shit, being influenced by them, and I realized, you know what, I got to kind of cut off the negative influences and start to do more thorough research and put out heartfelt content that tells my story. And there's other people out there who have a similar story to me. They can relate to it. It's a good thing. And that I will create a space for us that we can congregate and share notes, compare notes, and be ourselves. Over here, we are authentically mulatto people. Over here, there's not going to be any, what I want to say. There's no shaming of the mulatto identity. There's not going to be this hating on somebody because they love their parents, they respect their cultures from their background. There's not going to be that here. When I say hood culture or pookie culture, that's not black culture. Well, I've stated that earlier before, that in America, the pookie hood culture, the underclass in black society, they're the ones who dictate what the broader kind of accepted black culture is. That's why the richest and most successful, wealthiest black people, they oftentimes tend to marry out, because they see that they don't want to store their wealth and resources in a community where people eat each other alive, where it's crabs in a bucket, where people steal from each other, rob from each other. They sing and dance to songs about robbing each other. And people who have some sense and they're wealthy, they don't want to be a part of that. The wealthy overclass of black society, their voices are silenced. It's, the underclass are the ones who dictate what the general culture is. So I'm not sure why you used to like me and what changed now. It's because I bumped heads maybe with your little feminist friends. I mean, that's on them. Your guys' whole, you know, the way you guys operate is you challenge men. And then when men kind of clap back or they take the challenge and they're trying to prove a point, then you say that they're attacking the women. That's what all you idiots say. When clearly I already demonstrated I have free promotion, though, on my channel where it says mulatto, channels pinned. It's like out of 8, 5 of them are women. So it's, and on my channel, there's women on my channel. So I know you lesbians, you want to push that gender war because you want access to the women. And you're angry and upset with the fact that there's women out here that are actually attracted to me, that they want straight masculine men. And that's what you're really angry about. That's why you're coming in here with all this misandry and hate speech, because you're upset with the fact that you're the one who is a sex deviant. You're the one who is not normal. I represent the normal traditions, the normal structure of the world, and you don't. And that's what you really hate. So you should look in the mirror. You shouldn't come to me talking about the golden sphere. I don't have a problem with mulattoes having their own space, but to come down on light skin MGMs and other mixed race folks will only get you so far. I'm not going to click your link. I'll come on live when I'm good and ready. Yeah, I'm actually one of the nicer guys because there's people out there, if you don't click the link, they block you. But, yeah, I don't really care. You're nobody. I don't know what you sound like, don't know what you look like. You've already stated you're a lesbian, and I don't even really want to talk to you, to be honest. But you said you're calling me out, but you're typing little comments in the chat. Like, why don't you, you know, hit the link and you can call me out. I don't see that American ADOS FBA hood culture as black culture. It's closer European white trash culture. Yeah. And a lot of the ADOS, the hood culture, I should say, they like the ghetto, like the white trash culture. What they're mad about, their major plight is white people don't like them as much as they like white people. That's the black plight, is they want white acceptance more than anything. They want white acceptance more than anything. What they're mad about is that, yeah, like I just stated, that they love white people more than white people love them. White people only like them if they can dance, dribble a ball and sing songs, or they can be used if they're useful for them to work for them and build them wealth, right? And entertainment. And so, because you think about it, you look at the religious structure, right? With Christianity in America, baptism, Southern Baptism, Christianity, because America's majority Christian nation. White churches, they worship Jesus Christ, who's painted as a white image, right? A white God. Black people worship that same image. Black people worship a white Jesus, right? That's where you see the major kind of imbalance, where white people worship a image of God that looks like them. Black people, they worship an image of God that doesn't look like them. It's a white God. So their major plight is they want acceptance from white people. See why the ADOS FBA hood people, why they're jealous of mulatto people, because we're half white. We have proximity to whiteness. We're tied to that culture as much as we're tied to the black culture in a lot of ways, depending on our environment growing up. And that's what they really hate, that they despise about us. They're jealous and envious of us. And they don't, a lot of them times, they don't want us to explain that. They don't want us to mention that. If we do, you're anti-black. You just don't want to be black. No, bitch, I am black. Part black, half black, I should say. I'm just as black as I am white. The fusion, which is mulatto. So, like, yeah. What else is there to say on that, man? If anything, Multi and Gigi made the mulatto presence more prevalent in the Golden Sphere, and even though they like drama, yeah, I just don't like how y'all attack those two. Fuck those two. Fuck those two bitches. The Golden Grandma and multiracial bowel movement. Yeah, fuck those two bitches. I don't have any respect for them, even though they like the drama. Yeah, that's why I don't associate with those hood rats. I don't see you're caping for the hyenas. That's why I'm like, I'll be that. I know you don't. You have a problem with lesbos, but you're mad that I called out gay men. Got it. You're calling out men in general. You're clearly a misandrist, right? And like I said, I don't, gay men, they're not on my channel unless they're in the closet or something, or they're just cloud watching. I told you this space promotes straight people, men and women forming families, conservative people. So, I mean, I don't know, this is, and they know that people listen to the channel, they know, you know, yeah, because you have a homonormative agenda. You don't like the fact that straight women are attracted to men. That's what you don't like. You're very angered by that, of the normal order of the world. You're in the minority. You don't like the fact that straight hetero women like straight hetero men. Okay? That's a you problem, right? It's nothing to do with me. So, yeah, Malcolm X spoke on that. Some black folks love white people more than white people love themselves. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know that. I know that. It's a fact. Right? I've noticed how the MGMs always use the image of biracial people for their content and not people who are more representative of their phenotype. Well, the golden sphere, you have this MGM. That whole MGM term is for basically light-skinned blacks or black identified, just black people, to basically masquerade and LARP. They call it LARPing, pretending to be mixed. So they want to use our image. They want to claim all of our wins and accomplishments for a pro-black agenda. So that's basically what it is. Yeah, they use our image. I've heard one light-skinned guy over there. I'm not gonna name names, but he basically was saying that. He's like, he tried to say, he tried to speak for biracial people. And I'm looking at like, dude, you're not biracial, man. You're clearly a light-skinned black guy, which is fine, but you're not biracial, you're not mulatto. So you shouldn't be speaking for us like that. But they'll try to do that if you let them. That's why there's a major kind of split or a schism in that sector. Because you have people like me, the Vanguard, others who kind of called it out. We're like, look, I'm not going to dance around. And then when you clap back at them, they're going to say, you were racist, you're anti-black. Okay, fuck you. I'm going to create my own space, got a mulatto sphere. But then see those people, they still come over here trying to dance around and all this, whatever. Look at the woman on Caesar's petition. Show me an MGM in this space who looks anything like that. The women on Caesar's petition, an MGM in this space who looks anything like that. Yeah, I haven't seen that petition in a while. I don't know what's going on with that petition. You call them out for their drama, you should probably do it more often because they're getting loud and that's their whole platform is based on drama. All they do is they have drama streams. Those bitches have no creativity, you know. It's just a place where people can hang out and have ratchet views and or ratchet, topics, and so they can get their views. It's a big Jerry Springer show. And so they have no they're both fucking idiots. I mean, multiracial bowel movement is one of the stupidest motherfuckers up here on the internet. I don't know. And she turns on the live button and starts talking. She has a limited lexicon and she has a male cadence. She says words like bro and she says nigga. She calls people nigga and says bro. I mean, literally, this is a woman in her 20s, a loser baby mama who literally tries to talk like a dude. I mean, she is the multiracial bowel movement is the stupidest motherfucker on the internet. And it's like, so why are you going to listen to her? You're not going to learn nothing from her. There's no new information she's going to present to you. They're like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. You're not going to learn nothing from those idiots. It's all drama. All their content is centered around drama. So these are loser baby mamas who have boring ass lives. They should be taking care of their family, but they're horrible people, horrible mothers. So they come on the internet looking for spicy topics to talk about, which is all drama, trying to fight with other people. That's all they got going on. They ain't got shit going on in their lives. Pathetic people. Yeah. They're not welcome over here. No hyenas. Why wouldn't like that? That's how I got here. But if you are gonna call out lesbos, let's call y'all BS out. But you haven't stated any BS that I've done though. That's the thing. The link is there. You don't want to hit the link. I'm not gonna hit the link. You're not gonna hit the link. Let me see. Um, yeah, here we go. Like the thing is, you haven't stated any. Here's the link. Drop it one more time. I'm gonna end pretty soon, guys, because I don't know. This is kind of getting a little boring now. You stated that let's call y'all. Let's call y'all BS out too. What BS? This is an educational channel. This is a channel for mulatto people. This is the third option. Okay, if you're tired of white people telling you, "Hey, you're too black," if you're tired and then they don't want you in their spaces, okay, and then you go to the black spaces and then the black people say, "Oh, you got a white mom or you're white identified or you ain't from the hood." We have our own space now. This is a third option. So this is what I have here. So what BS? What are you gonna call out? That doesn't make any sense. It says, I don't have anything against heteros, but y'all are fucking up society along with gay men. You're clearly a misandrist. Oh man, you're disgusting. I'm gonna end it pretty soon. Yeah, I get it. But for the future's sake, we need to find a common ground. If the children, man, shut up. Don't even speak about the children, man. You're not for families. Even though I'm Les, believe it or not, I care. No, shut the fuck up. You don't give a damn about the future generations. The federal government has been uh, perpetrating, apologize, a separate segregation of mulattoes. We are focused on this segregation of mulatto Americans. Yeah. All right. That's it, guys. I went on a little longer than I should have. I apologize, all the expletives and the negative, language and all that stuff. I'm typically not like that. I definitely try not to be like that, but I can entertain it sometimes, especially this weirdo person shows up. Like, you have channels that are pro black and pro lesbian. Go to the woman sphere. Okay. I'll give her a shout out. I don't watch her shit. I've heard about her, but she is a lesbian separatist. She's with the same rhetoric. She wants to say all the men are bad and that all the women should get together and have their little lesbian island. The word lesbian comes from in Greek mythology from an island called Lesbos, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe in the future I can kind of pull that information up. But yeah, they've had in Greek mythology, they've had an island of women, a lesbian island, and that's where the name Lesbos comes from, the lesbian. So whatever, guys, if you want your own little lesbian space, go do that. But this is a straight space where we are focused on education building a network with other like-minded people, thinking about the future. So yeah, love you guys. Peace out. Talk to you next time.
Girl on my left, pretty girl on my right, south side.